Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to my weekly reading update, a week in books as I'm calling it. I believe this is week 6, so going strong yet. We'll just go over some recent reads, my next reads, book pickups, whatever I really want to talk about. Appreciate you being here. Consider subscribing. If you are new, give it a like if you like it. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. I have a whole stack of books to talk about, varying genres, sizes, what have you. Let's go ahead and talk book pickups, I guess, first. Some books I got this week. Well, basically just yesterday was the only day I bought books this week. If you saw my last book haul for Faux Intellectuals, that video was like going nuclear, so I appreciate you watching that and all the support on that video. And if you're new from that video, hello. Yeah, if you haven't seen that video, go give it a watch. Maybe these books should have been included in it, but alas, I bought them too late. Let's jump into the first collection of books I am most excited about. That is the It's the Oxford Illustrated Works of Jane Austen. I don't know why I said Jane Austen like that. Jane Austen. This is by Oxford University Press. Here is Emma. On the back it has all the, this ring light, all the books that are included in this set. As you notice, there are 6 books listed here. I only have 5. This set didn't come with Pride and Prejudice, which in this edition, which came out in 1982, I'm seeing it online. I've only seen 2 listings of Pride and Prejudice online. One of them was for $70. The other one was for $140, just for one book. I got these at Half Price Books. Like the set of 5 of them, I got them for, I don't even know, $48 or something. So less than $10 a book. No idea why Pride and Prejudice is so elusive. But I think that'll just be my next hunt. I'll try to find that specific edition for Pride and Prejudice to complete the set. And when I do, I'll probably make a video similar. If you saw my Oxford Illustrated Charles Dickens, I just like the size of the books. I like the illustrations in them, obviously. The font isn't too small, but it's, I don't know, everything is just a good size about them, and they feel good in your hands. This top shelf here, not like the top, but the top inclusive shelf of my bookshelf is the whole Oxford Illustrated Charles Dickens collection, all 21 novels from him. If you haven't seen that video, also check it out. I'll link it down below if I remember to link it down below, Sam. But yeah, I don't know why these were at Half Price Books when I found them. The hunt for Pride and Prejudice continues. So yeah, super excited to have these. And once again, look out for a video on them if I ever do find Pride and Prejudice that doesn't cost me an arm and a leg. Because one thing's for sure, I'm not paying $48 for 5 books and then spending $70 for another. Yeah, I don't roll that way. Next book pickup here I got yesterday in the Half Price Books clearance section. I wonder why. This could have gone in my Faux Intellectual book haul, but I'll talk about it here. The Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace. On the back it says it's sort of like a comedy about the entertainment industry, or maybe just entertainment in general, and how it is, I don't know, corrupting our minds or what have you. I read the first page, and you definitely have to be in the right mindset to read this book. This is, again, one of those bucket list books to read, and yeah, I think I just need it on my shelf. It was on the clearance section of Half Price Books, so normally it would have been like $12 at Half Price Books. I got it for like $3.99. Figured I had to pick it up. Someone's already read it. Obviously it's broken into, so I don't feel bad about cracking the spine or anything. And it actually has one of those like stamps on the inside. It says, "From the library of Evan Go," or Evan Gough, Gough. So did I say Evan? I meant to say Eric. Eric Gough, or Go. So Eric, if you're out there, if you're watching this video, I have your book. I took the Post-its out of it. Sorry, there were like 2 blank Post-it notes just stuck in random pages, so sorry about your luck, Eric. No idea when I'll read this. I have another one of David Foster Wallace's books, a supposedly fun thing I never do again. It's a nonfiction short story collection. I think there's 7 pieces in there ranging from like tennis to racing to whatever. I might read that first just to get or maybe a couple stories of his first before I break into Infinite Jest. Because you have to really dissect this, and it is a vast novel, so it will be a lot of dissecting. This might be like, well, I don't know. We'll see when I read it. Clearly, I got enough to read here, so stay tuned on when I pick that up. Let's talk about current reads. Currently chunking through 3 books. A bit abnormal for me, but they're so different. That's how I'm justifying it. What I'm calling my main read now, if you saw last week's video, I just started it, is American Prometheus. This is the story about Oppenheimer and the sort of inspiration for the movie Oppenheimer, nonfiction book about the father of the atomic bomb. I'm mostly listening to this one on audio. The audio book is great. I don't know who reads it. I probably should have looked that up, but I just have it on Audible, or not Audible, on Libby through my library. And so I'm listening to that, and it's very good. It's pretty dense, some of the stuff it talks about. So having someone like read it to me is helpful to me, I think. It looks huge. It is huge. The audiobook is 27 hours. But the book itself is 600 pages or so. It has about 150 to 200 pages of notes at the end of it, and I am just about 2/3 of the way through it. So yeah, I'm liking this. About 400 pages in. I'm listening mostly on audio, and I've seen the movie before. I saw it last year, and so I'm being able to picture some of the scenes in my head a bit more clearly, as it like sort of time skips back and forth into various, I guess, eras of Oppenheimer's life. So I'll definitely finish it this week, obviously, but I'm not rushing through it per se. I'm just enjoying it, taking my time, reading it when I want to read it, and it's been good, or I guess listening to it when I want to listen to it. So yeah, I listened to a lot of it today. Actually, I had to shovel snow out of my driveway, so I listened to that for about an hour and a half, and it was good. The other book that I am piecing through, this one is Snail's Pace. This is The Rag and Bone Shop of the Heart, Poems for Men. I figured I'd give a shake of the stick to poetry and read a couple poems before bed. I don't really know if I understand any of them, but in an effort just to read a bit more, I'm trying to instill these habits to read more. So poetry collection is very different to a nonfiction epic. Speaking of nonfiction, sorry, my ADHD brain sort of just jumped in there. I heard a tip. I don't know when or who said it or from where. It said to read nonfiction as if you're reading fiction. I don't know what that means per se, but just thinking of that and reading this book in the same mindset as just any other fiction book I've read has done leaps and bounds to my enjoyment to it. Who would have thought I would be this enthralled in a 600-page nonfiction epic detailing quantum physics and communism and the socio-political climate of the United States from pre-World War II all the way up until the 60s. Yeah, I'm reading it as fiction, and it does help that the narrator in the audiobook is so good. So if you have any reservations about reading this book, I would say get the audiobook of it and follow along, do some immersive reading, things of that nature. But yeah, point proven. Read nonfiction as if it was nonfiction, and read poetry like it's poetry, I guess. I'm only 25 pages into this. This is like 500 something pages. Maybe I'm talking out my rear end. Yeah, it is 510 pages of poetry. Talked about this last week. I bookmarked one poem that I thought was better than the rest. No, maybe none of them are awesome, but whatever. In an effort to expand my poetry mind, I'm giving this a shot. I got this at a Half Price Books warehouse sale. It was a quarter. It was literally 25 cents. So, and I don't think it had ever been read before. It is a Harper Perennial classic from 1992. Yeah, and I guess my latest read, I said I'm reading 3 books. This one is a work of fiction, short stories. If you saw my last video, or no, if you saw my book haul for Faux Intellectuals, I said I would probably read that next, and I stuck to my word. And that is Dubliners by James Joyce, and I am loving this book. I'm taking it slow. I'm only 44 pages in. Been reading it for 3 days, so I'm sort of bouncing around. I'll read a short story or 2 a day with Dubliners, and it's been very good. It's sort of an introduction into his work, collection of short stories, and it paints this vivid painting almost of what Dublin was like in the early 20th century. It's very, very good. Lots of point of views. You're sort of just plopped into the middle of some person's world, and it tells a short story of whatever's happening that day with them, and it's good. The language is flowery, but not to a fault. You just sort of have to, you can't read it like it's Harry Potter, obviously, but you have to read it and understand it and comprehend the words and not just sort of gloss over it. And that has been utilizing a different part of my brain, which has been good. There's 15 short stories in here. I'll pull up the table of contents. 15 short stories. I have read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. Like I said, about a third of the way through it here, and it's very, very good. Yeah, taking my time with it, reading it when I want to read it. If I'm not in the mood to read it, I'm not going to pick it up, that sort of a thing. So yeah, I guess 2 of the same books from last week, in Oppenheimer and this poetry collection, and then Dubliners on top when I want to. Alrighty, I think that is it for this week's weekly wrap-up. Highlights being obviously this Oxford Illustrated Jane Austen collection that isn't complete yet, and I'm slowly hunting down Pride and Prejudice. Don't know if I ever will, but we'll see. Look out for a video on this whenever I get it. Infinite Jest picked up for $5, pretty good steal, and reading 3 books at once: nonfiction, fiction, and poetry. Let me know what you're reading down below. Let me know if you've picked up any books this week, what your reading plans are for this week. I appreciate you being here. As always, consider subscribing if you aren't subscribed already. Give it a like if you liked it and things of that nature. And I appreciate you being here. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Have a great week.